So this video is going to be a little bit shorter than previous videos. I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to spend on the project. So yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit shorter. Didn't get as much done. When I started, I was planning on continuing with the procedural generation, but I kind of realized that the movement just seems really uninteresting and it's one of the worst parts of the game and it's the main part of the game. So I really wanted to make that feel better and I didn't really know how. So I watched this video by Game Maker's Toolkit called Why Does Celeste Feel So Good? And in the video, they talk about acceleration, top speed, and deceleration of the movement. This is not something that I just was like, oh yeah, immediately, that's why it feels bad. But obviously, linear motion does not feel good. And I've done this before, so I don't know why I totally forgot about it. But when they were talking to the developers, one of the things that they mentioned was the game should feel good in an empty room. So if nothing else is going on, it should still be fun to move the character around and play the game, regardless of like story or other game mechanics or anything like that, or how good the art looks. Like you want the game to feel good. I implemented non-linear motion in the game. So now you ramp up in speed and ramp down in speed. You can see that you stop moving, but you don't stop moving immediately, and you ramp up a little bit in speed. There's still some bugs to this, there's a little bit of a jitter sometimes, like moving side to side and turning while you're moving and stuff. So still some bugs to work out, but overall it already feels a lot better than it did before. I also added a dash, so if you hold shift, but you can like there's like a charging time, so if you hold it, but you can only hold it for a certain amount, and you can't move while you're holding it. And so you can like charge up a dash and then dash in the direction you're facing. And it does the same thing. It has an acceleration, a top speed, and you slow down and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the movement. It already feels a lot better than it did before, and I like it a lot more. I think it makes it feel more interesting. Obviously, things need to be tuned and cleaned up, but for the little amount of time that I spent working on it, it feels a lot better, and I'm pretty happy with it. I wanted to take a different approach with the game. I think that while interesting to build procedural levels and everything, I don't think that necessarily like exploring the caves and something is going to be achievable for me right now. I don't think I have enough time to invest into like level design and all of those things to make it fun to play easily. So I think like the floor, if you will, of what I have to put in to make that an enjoyable experience that I'm proud of is a lot higher to do a like cave exploring game with a story and everything like that. Just because there's a lot more elements that go into it, making the enemies and all the like story elements and like coming up with a dialogue system and a lot of things that I wanted to do. But I don't think, and honestly, like when I picture it in my head, it's not really what I want to do. What I've decided to go for, and something that I was talking with some people about that I think it would be fun, is kind of doing like a tower ascension kind of feel, where you put like, some players in a map, they start and you get like a certain number of lives and PvP gameplay. Right. And I think that the procedural generation of levels would be fun, right? Because I mean, a lot of games have like, stagnant levels and you just play them and people get really good at the levels and there's fun aspects of that. But I think it might also be interesting to still keep some of like the vision stuff, like the lighting and having like complete darkness in some areas. And, like you don't have to turn on the light to show yourself kind of thing. I haven't figured it all out, but obviously I still need to prototype this and build it out, which is hopefully what I'm going to do this month, is add like basic multiplayer, some like projectile weapons, and then getting players into the map and having some like basic gameplay with multiple players. And then from there I can work on the art and movement and everything else. Thank you for watching. I'll link to the videos that I showed, and you can go check them out if you want to. I'd recommend Game Maker's Toolkit's video. That's pretty interesting, especially if you're like working on a movement system. I might try and do some smaller projects if I get bored of working on the game. I'm hoping that this month I'll be able to spend more time working on the game, so should be able to actually have like a playable multiplayer thing and get some playtests this month. like, comment, subscribe. It all helps me. Thanks. And I release these videos on the 1st of every month. So if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel.